Welcome to Time with T. Thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me. Now, there are 5 things that I always talk about: literature, performing arts, gender-based violence, Agenda 23, and myself. Today, I am going to talk about literature, performing arts, gender-based violence. Okay, I'm going to talk about a little bit of everything of what I usually talk about. Let's start with a bit of literature. So a short while ago, I started a online book club called The Book Nook. It's so new, it's so fresh, it's literally still an infant. And the first book that I picked to be unpacked in the online book club was The City Is Mine by Nick Mhlongo. I got it on Takealot, and when I first heard that Nick Mhlongo was coming out with a new book, I simply had to get it because I love his storytelling. I love the way that he writes. He really does transport you and take you to a world that he's talking about. And with The City Is Mine, he took me to every city that I've ever been in, and even to the cities that I haven't been in, and to know the similarities that are out there in the world when it comes to the cities that we live in is incredible when he puts it into words the way that he does in The City Is Mine. And I'm especially thinking about the city of broken dreams that he introduces us to in The City of Mine. And with these harsh weather conditions, I can't help but think of the people that have found refuge in The City of Broken Dreams. If you have read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are people that we know exist and we never think about. Nick gave them faces, gave them names, gave them personalities, and now I never walk around the city the same way. I see a seatbelt, so thank you for the work, Nick. And when I got it, I was so excited that I posted about it that even Nick asked me to be his host for the Pretoria launch, Go Exclusive Books in mainland. It was very special. Thank you so much, Nick, for trusting me with your work. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for involving me in your South Africa City Is Mine book tour. I loved every moment. I loved everything about what we shared that day, and I hope for more and more and more. So the second book that I picked for the Book Nook was When Secrets Become Stories. I got this as a gift from somebody who is very near and dear to me, very special to me, one of my favorite people on earth. Hey Bongs. He makes me feel very giddy, and he gifted me this, and when I read it, I had a very difficult time getting through it. Usually a book of this size, it will take me a day or 2, 3 at the most to read it, but I remember taking, I think, about a week and a half, close to 2 weeks, reading this book, because every story was difficult to read, difficult to hear, because it wasn't anything new. It's even stories of people that I know, people that I know of. Some stories are very similar to mine. So with that, after reading it, I found it difficult to also have it for the Book Nook, to talk about it, because I knew that we would all be a mess because of the nature of the book. But I put out a call to say, if you have a story of survival, whatever it is that you've survived, be it gender-based violence, be it any form of abuse, be it anything that you feel you have survived, write to me, and then we are going to put together something like this, an anthology of this sort. This was edited by Sunyati, but I've taken it upon myself to say, hey, I could edit it too, and we will publish it, or we will see what happens with it. And when I put that video out, I'm not one to get like a lot of reactions and comments, so I would put out a video and I will get like 1 reaction. If I get 3 comments, I'll be like, calm down. But to my surprise, I got 15 stories out of that video. So to get the response that I got, I'm really humbled. It's overwhelming. It's incredibly overwhelming, and I appreciate it. So if you do know someone who has gone through something, tell their stories for them, or if you are that person, tell their story for you. And I also want to highlight quickly what gender-based violence is. A lot of people have really concluded and decided that gender-based violence is man on woman abuse, or woman on man abuse. And very rarely do we talk about how sometimes the abuse does not come from a relationship, does not come from that type of intimacy. Because when I talk about my story, and those who don't know about it and are hearing it for the first time always get surprised when I say my abuse was not in a form of a relationship. It didn't come from a partner or a boyfriend. I don't think that I would have had a boyfriend that would lay their hands on me and then continue to live and tell the tale. I don't think that I would be here if I had a boyfriend that laid their hands on me in this time, in this day and age. Not to threaten anybody or not to put out any kind of a message out there, but to say my abuse comes from a space where a lot of people didn't think that it would come from. It came from a place where I didn't think it would come from. That's why it took me so long to talk about it and give it a name, because for a while I thought it was just hardship. But as soon as I learned the language, then I realized that, hey, I was abused, I was violated, I was perpetrated. And that's how I got to speak about it. And my mission is really to teach other people this language, because a lot of people are in situations and they don't even know that they are suffering. They think it's a way of life. They think that is how things are supposed to be, and it's really not. So I'm on a mission to teach. And my favorite thing to say is, if you know better, do better. And if you see something, say something. And if you are not sure, ask. Information is out there. If you are not sure, if you are in a situation and you don't feel good, and you know you are not doing well, but you don't know what it is, you don't have the name for it, ask, and seek help. It is out there. And the thing about seeking help is, the strongest thing that you can do is ask for help. And when you do get the help, be ready and willing to receive it. It's not a weakness asking for help. So I am the host of a program called Conversations with the Author, produced by the South African State Theatre. And in that program, I have conversations with authors about their bodies of work. And when we did our 32nd Conversations with the Author, we had Hebana by Ace Molloy. And with that, he said that we must learn to humanize things and stop saying that abuse should be dressed like this or should be addressed like this. If you humanize it, if you give it a name and you give it a face, then you can identify what it is. And I'm saying this because of what I just said, that a lot of people are in situations and they don't know. And when it comes to statistics, they are now showing that the members of the LGBTQA plus community are suffering the most, and that's a conversation that we are not having. The numbers are now skyrocketing to say this gender-based violence, this horrible thing that we have given as a fancy name, the people that are suffering the most is the people that are less acknowledged. And he writes about that very well, Ace, in his book Heba, and I think that you should just go out and get it and read about it. It opened up my eyes in a way that I didn't expect, because when it comes to such matters, you think you know it all, you think you figured it all out until you read Ace's work, and then you realize that actually what I thought was not it. And let's make a commitment. Let's commit to doing our research and knowing where we fall in the ranking, man, of life and in our country and in the world, because we cannot all be at the bottom of the barrel. it's just not possible. So the people that we think are high up there, they're ranking high, they're actually at the bottom. And the people that we think are at the bottom are in the middle. And the people who we think are in the middle are the highest. So let's educate ourselves when it comes to such matters. When we speak about gender-based violence, we speak about all violence. We speak about all genders. We speak about all kinds of abuse. So let's not turn a blind eye. Let's not look away, because we cannot win when some of us are left behind. Please do share with me what you're currently reading. I'm reading this for fun. It has been on my DNF list, did not finish, and I just want to finish it because I want to find out what happened to that lady who has a daughter and a mother that has a mental illness. So yeah, let's do that. Also, I have not picked a book for this month, Book Nook, but we are going to meet on the last day of September for Book Nook and bring along what you're currently reading. Bring along your book so that we can share where our minds and our heads are and our interests are at, because I also don't want to always be the only one picking books. So let's come together, bring your book, whatever it is that you're reading. Let's share, let's talk, let's connect, let's network. Maybe I should add the South African State Theatre to the list of the things that I will always talk about, because it is an institution that is incredible to be a part of. And I'm always eternally grateful for being a part of the South African State Theatre with Conversations with the Author and Onset. The other day, a while back, I saw on a poster that one of my favorite musicians, I grew up listening to this man's music, was coming to the South African State Theatre. And I always say never meet your heroes, but I had to meet him. And I went to go find him. And he was everything and more. I want to send a shout out to Mandla, who is very well known and affectionately known as Ndlax. Thank you so much for being there, Mandla. Thank you for taking the video that will stay with me forever. Thank you for freezing that moment for me. Thank you for making sure that I'm going to have those memories for as long as I live and for me to share with my children. I appreciate you so much. And I'm gonna come to your concert. And please go watch Mandla perform. If you are familiar with him, you know how great he is. He's a maestro. He's incredible on stage. And he has a collaboration with Bonafide Billy. So we all, by those two names together, we know it's going to be a music feast. So again, Mandla, thank you so much for capturing that moment for me. I will never ever forget meeting Tutu Kanigcele. I don't want to talk about it too much. I still get a little emo. Don't want to get emo, but yeah, that was very special. That was very special. Do that. Thank you so much for joining me here on Time with T. Thank you for choosing to spend time with me. I will see you next time. Be kind to one another. Love and light.